Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Assalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. What is it? Yesterday we said we're going to start with what? The book or the conversation? Okay. الحوار الثالث انظر واستمع وأعد. انظر واستمع وأعد. The audio is clear for the sisters. So here we have a conversation between Sadiq and Sabir. Sadiq and Sabir. Now, here it's the name of two individuals, right? But Sadiq means what? Huh? Truthful, right? Sadiq means truthful. Friend is Sadiq. Friend is Sadiq. Now, look at the word Sadiq. It's on which shape? What form? The doer form. The doer form, right? Because the verb to be truthful is what? What's the verb to be? Huh? If Sadiq is the doer form, and the word means truthful, now he spoke the truth, or he was truthful. If you got to bring it back, what is going to be? Right? Sadaqa. It comes from the 3-letter, right? It comes from the 3-letter. So you know the verb for this doer is 3-letter. Why? How? Because it's on the shape sadiq, right? Fa'il. So sadaqa means he was truthful, right? In the Quran, Sadaqullah ma'a in Surah Rijalun Sadaqullah ma'ahadu alay. Huh? Huh? Nur, you sure? And the next word, Sabir. What is Sabir? No. Sabir is going to be the patient one, the one who is patient. Right? Patience is sabr. Patience is what? Sabr. Right? That's what you call the verbal noun or the masdar. Right? So now what's the verb for he was patient? It's going to be sabara. Right? 3-letter. At least it's going to be 3-letter. Now the 3-letter verbs, it always starts with a fatha and end with a fatha. Right? The regular 3-letter verbs, he something, she something, right? It always starts with a fatha and end with a fatha, so long as you know who is doing it. There's another type of verbs where you don't know who is doing it, right? That may start with a different vowel. We're going to touch on that briefly another time. But the middle vowel, that's what you might have a variation. So it's always fatha, then another vowel, then fatha. Now the middle vowel may be fatha, dhamma, or kasra. So you may be sadaqa, right? You get jalasa, right? Kataba, sajada. Then you have word that has what do you call it? Kasra, like qawiya, has kasra in the middle. Then you have abada, not abida, abada. Then you have words that have a dhamma in the middle, right? Like kabura. But the first letter and the last letter, always fatha, right? Hmm?
So words like that, where it's like that's the word dhamma, is that just something you have to know?
Yeah, for now, just know. There is tips, but for now, just know it. Like any language, right? You just learn the verbs um, as they are.
What verbs have like the dhamma? Like that's the middle vowel.
You just learn it. When you come across a verb with a dummy, you just memorize it, just like that. Right? But don't get distracted. So the literal meaning for sabir is the one who is patient. I just mentioned in this to use what we studied before of the doer form. Sabir, he said, sorry, Sadiq, he said, هذا أذان العصر. هذا أذان العصر. هذا, this is أذان العصر, the adhan of al-asr, meaning the adhan of Salat al-asr. Right? This is from again mudaf wal mudaf ilay construction. Right? The mudaf wal mudaf ilay construction. Hayya bina ila al-masjid. Hayya bina ila al-masjid. Now, hayya bina, just hayya mean come. Bina with us. Right? Come with us. Ila al-masjid, to the masjid. Hayya means come. It's not a full verb, but in Arabic they have words that carry the meaning of verbs. Right? You just learn it with the application. So you want to tell someone come, you can say hayya. Right? Come with us. Hayya. And even in the meaning of going, right? Like hayya, come or go with us. Ila, to al-masjid, the masjid. Right? Come with us to the masjid. Sadiq, he said, Ana usalli fil bayt. Ana, I, usalli is what? I pray. Fil bayt, in the house, right? I pray in the house. Ana usalli fil bayt. Now, if he was to say usalli fil bayt, it's also going to mean I pray in the house, right? Ana usalli fil bayt, usalli fil bayt. I pray in the house. Sabir commands him. He said, Salli fil masjid. Salli fil masjid. Now the command form for pray is when you command one person, Salli, one meal, Salli. Right? Salli fil masjid. Salli fil masjid. Pray in the masjid. If you command a female, you're going to say, Salli. Right? Salli. Just learn it. Don't worry how you get it right now. Just learn it. That's the easiest way to build the language. Just learn it. Now, as you memorize more and more and more, you yourself are going to figure out the pattern. You want to command more than one, you say, Sallu. Right? Sallu fil masjid. So one meal, Salli, like this. If you end on the word, like if you just tell someone, pray, you're going to say, Sal. Right? You're not going to pronounce the li. Sol. But if you pronounce the li, you can't stretch it. Okay? If you stretch it, it's going to become for the female. Salli. Right? And if you command more than one, sallu. Like the famous hadith. Sallu kama ra'aytumuni usalli. Right? Pray as you see me pray. Salli fil masjid. Pray in the masjid. Sadiq, he said, al-masjidu ba'id. The masjid is ba'id. What's ba'id? Far. Al-masjid ba'id. Sabir, he responds, al-masjidu qareeb. Al-masjidu qareeb. Al-masjidu qareeb. The masjid is near. Sabir, he said, Hal anta mareed? Are you? What's mareed? Sick. Right? Anta mareed, you are sick. Hal makes it a question. Hal anta mareed? La ana bi khair. No, I am good. No, I am good. Right? Ana bi khair, I am good. Now you can say ana khair, I am good. Ana bi khair, I am good. Ana bi khair is more emphasized than ana khayr. Right? Ana khayr, I am good. Ana bi khayr, I am good. But that ba there emphasizes it. Right? You want to really say that you are good. It gives a little more emphasis. Right? It's not like verily, surely. It's not like a strong emphasis, but it gives a little more meaning. Ana bi khayr. Sabir, he said, Anta kaslan. Right? Anta kaslan. What's kaslan? Lazy. You are lazy. Sadiq, hada sahih. Hada, this. Sahih is, here means correct. Sahih means here, correct. Another meaning for sahih is what? Huh? Yeah, in the context of information, you're going to be authentic, which is correct. Right? The hadith is sahih, the hadith is correct, authentic. But another total different meaning. But it's not total different application, but they have a connection, they have a, what do you call it? A common factor, healthy. Right? Healthy. Someone say, Ana sahih, who was sahih, he is healthy. The context is going to let you know. Right? And in every language there are words like that. Even in English, right? You have one word that can have multiple meaning. Asif means what? Sorry. Sabir, he said, Ana dhahibun ila al-masjid. Ana dhahibun ila al-masjid. Dhahibun means what? Dhahib by itself means the goer, right? This on the doer form. I remember we mentioned that the doer form can be used as the verb. So, ana dhahibun ila al-masjid, you're not going to translate, I'm goer to the masjid. No, I'm going to the masjid. It's the same as saying, ana adhabu ila al-masjid. I am going to the masjid. Sadiq, he said, intadhir. Intadhir means wait. Intadhir, you're commanding someone, requesting from someone to wait. Right? Memorize it just like that. Intadhir. Intadhir means wait. Ana dhahibun ma'aka. I am going with you. Right? Ana dhahibun ma'aka. Clear? Everything from the conversation clear? Before we move to the next one.
Why in hada sahih asifun, why does it say ana asifun?
You can say ana asif, you can say asif. Up to you. Right? Asif means sorry, meaning who is sorry? I am sorry. For example, if I ask, who ate the bread? You say Muhammad. You can say Muhammad, or if you want to repeat everything, you say Muhammad ate the bread. You understand? Anyone you can say. Now, which one is more eloquent? There's a different topic. Anything else? Al-Ard. The next demonstration, presentation of the conversation. Al-Wahda. As-Sabi'ah. Remind me to mention something about amma. Amma. Anyone remember we talked about amma when we said amma ba'd? Amma ba'd means as for what? Follows. We mentioned a ruling with amma. Who was it? Right? Whoever come after it. As for what follows, wherever comes, now as for what is it that follows? Right? As for what follows, there's an answer to that. Right? You have to have a fa. No, the fa, that was an example. But the fa is connected to the amma. Right? Whether there is ba'd or whether there is no ba'd. Anytime you have amma, right? As for, the answer to that as for is what takes the fa. Right? The amma ba'd was a was an example. For example, in the Quran, you have many examples, right? فَأَمَّا مَنْ أَعْطَى وَاتَّقَى وَصَدَّقَ بِالْحُسْنَى فَسَنُيَسِّرُهُ لِلْيُسْرَى, right? فَأَمَّا مَنْ ثَقُلَتْ مَوَازِينُهُ فَهُوَ فِي عِيشَةٍ, right? وَأَمَّا مَنْ خَفَّتْ مَوَازِينُهُ فَأُمُّهُ هَاوِيَةٌ, right? وَأَمَّا مَنْ بَخِلَ وَاسْتَغْنَى وَكَذَّبَ بِالْحُسْنَى فَسَنُيَسِّرُهُ لِلْعُسْرَى. So the father is for the answer of, telling you this is the answer of the amma, right? Telling you this is the answer of the amma. So in those cases, don't mix up, and it will never be a wow. Because, in Quran you have some verse start with wow, some starts with fa, and sometimes people, they mix those up. Yeah, I think I mentioned, I didn't separate. I think I mentioned, the way I mentioned it, it sounds like the amma, the ba'd is with the ruling, but the ba'd is now with the ruling. The ruling is with the amma, right? If you remember clearly, did I mention that? Did I separate it, or I mention as if it's all together? But whatever the case is, right, know that the ruling is linked to what? The amma, not the ba'd. That was just an example. Al-Hiwar al-Awwal. So here we are in the next wahda. Conversation between Ghanim and Ghalib. Now what you notice here again? All two in the shape of the door, right? The door of the three-letter verbs. Now Ghanim, what's the meaning of Ghanim? What's Ghanima? What's Ghanaim? The hadith of where the Prophet ﷺ mentioned about the 5 things he was given specifically, or he was favored with. وَأُحِلَّتْ لِي الْغَنَائِمْ, right? The Ghanaim was made halal for me. What's Ghanaim? Right, the spoils of war. Right, the spoils of war. So ghanima means to gain spoils of war. So let's say someone, they're in a battlefield, right? The enemy ran away, or the enemy get defeated, or they get killed, and they left back weapons and wealth and so, right? The person who took that, you can say he ghanima those things. He what? He ghanima those things. And also it can be used in other things. Like for example, let's say someone, he walking down the road, he find $100. You can say he ghanima $100. Right? Like do you understand? No, not took. Not just took. The meaning within it. Compare the two together. Right? It's like a bounty. You came across a bounty and you gain the bounty. Right? You came across some wealth, you came across something valuable, and you gain possession of it. Right? Ghanim. So the person who took the ghanima, the spoils, he is the ghanim. Right? He is the ghanim. Now what's ghalib? That's ghaib. Right? Ghaib is absent. But what's ghalib? Now what the verb for ghalib going to be? Ghalaba. Right? Either ghalaba, ghaliba, or ghaluba. But here is ghalaba. Right? What's ghalaba? The sisters, remember, you can also answer. Right? What is ghalaba? Wallahu ghalibun ala amrihi. Iyansurkumullahu fala ghaliba lakum. Right? To overpower, when you ghalaba something, right? One of the sister, overpower, overtake in a sense. Right? When you overcome something, overpower something. right? Two army fighting. The one who won, you say he ghalab, they ghalab, right? They overpower, they overtake, they kind of conquer, but it doesn't have to mean conquer. So the one who overpower, he is the ghalib, right? He is the ghalib, the one who overtook the other one, right? That's the ghalib. Right? In the Quran, in many places, يَنْصُرْكُمُ اللَّهُ فَلَا غَالِبَ لَكُمْ. There is no one, if Allah helps you, there is no one who can overcome you, overpower you, overtake you. Right? So Ghanim, he is saying, انظر إلى اللوحة. Look, انظر at the, انظر means look, right? انظر واستمع وعيد. Look at the lawha. Now lawha means, here it means a board. A lawha is anything that it's either square, rectangular, it's open out and is displaying something. That's a lawha, right? That's a lawha. So here it's a board. Unzur ila lawha. Look at the board. In English, look towards. Arabic, you use ila with unzur. When you want to say look, where you want them to look, you use ila. اقرأ الجدول الدراسي. اقرأ الجدول الدراسي. Now, اقرأ is a command. Read. It has a sukoon on the hamza. Now, sukoon on the hamza, and then you have al here, not a sukoon. If you read it together, you're going to say اقرأ الجدول الدراسي. Right? اقرأ الجدول الدراسي. The last vowel is the fatha. Jadwal is table. Jadwal is table. Not the table that you put stuff on, like the desk. Not that table. It's a diagram table. Right? That kind of table is a jadwal. Is a jadwal, like timetable, week table, month table, those kind of table. You understand? Clear? What is another word for table? Like a chart. Jadwal, table that you organize things in. Like all in the book. The book have all of those are jadwal, yeah. Jadwal. Derasi from school, from derasa, study. Right? So here is the school table. Right? Here it's referring to the school table, the timetable for the school. Which subject you're going to study on which day. This here, right? So this is the jadwal, and this here is the lawha. Right? The board, that's the lawha, and this here is the jadwal. Saturday you do this, Sunday you do this. Now dirasi, you're attributing it to the school. It's an adjective. الدراسة 5 أيام في الأسبوع. الدراسة, the studies, right? The classes here, right? The studies, the classes. خمسة is 5. أيام days, 5 days. في in الأسبوع, the week. So the study, the class, the lesson, however you want to translate it, is 5 days in the week, right? As usual. In English, normally you say school is 5 days in the week, right? 5 days, school days. غانم نعم. يوم السبت ويوم الأحد ويوم الاثنين ويوم الثلاثاء ويوم الأربعاء. نعم, yes. يوم السبت. Yawm as-Sabt is Saturday. Yawm as-Sabt is Saturday. The entire thing is Saturday. Yawm as-Sabt or Yawm as-Sabt. Here they use fatha because you're mentioning when is the school, right? You're mentioning when something. If you're saying Saturday by itself, you're going to say Yawm Sabt. But if you say something is happening on Saturday, you're going to say Yawm Sabt. We're going to touch on that more later. So Yawm Sabt, Saturday. Yawm al-Ahad is Sunday. Yawm al-Ithnain, Monday, right? For Jadwal, a schedule, right? Another can work. Right? A table with the schedule. That's how you pronounce the word. The schedule have two pronunciations. Schedule. Schedule and schedule, right? Same thing. Yawm al-Thulatha is Tuesday. Yawm al-Arbi'a is Wednesday. Ghalib, he said, Al-Utlatu Yawm al-Khamis. Al-Utla, what is Utla? The holiday, right? The day where there is no work, there is no school. Yawm al-Khamis. Yawm al-Khamis is Thursday. Wa Yawm al-Sabt. Wa Yawm al-Jumu'ah. And Friday, right? This used to be the holidays in Saudi, right? Up to recent, up to when, around 2013, 14, something around there. Adhan? British. Right? So the holiday is Thursday and Friday. Ghanim, uktub al-mawad ad-dirasiyya. Uktub, command, write. Uktub is the command for write. Now it's with a sukoon, but again, two sukoon coming. You're going to read it. Uktubil. Uktubil mawad ad-dirasiyya. Mawad is subjects here. Mawad is subjects. Mawad, subjects. Ad-dirasiyya, you're linking the subjects to the school, to the studies, right? The school subjects. Ad-dirasiyya. So this entire thing, al-mawad ad-dirasiyya, the subjects that you study in school. Uktubil mawad ad-dirasiyya. Ghalib, he is writing, al-thaqafatul islamiyya. Al-thaqafatul islamiyya, the entire thing is like Islamic studies, right? Islamic studies. Al-thaqafatul islamiyya. Al-lughatul arabiyya is Arabic language. Al-riyadiyat is mathematics. Wal-ulum, science, right? Ulum, science. Now remember, all of these are terminology, right? All of these are terminology. So you're going to translate it in this context. These are subjects. When you say ulum, you're referring to science. Even though ulum literally means what? Knowledge or information, right? Information. But here is science. Hasub is computer science. Hasub is computer science or information technology. IT. That's what you call Hasub. Refer to general knowledge. In thaqafa by itself can refer to general knowledge. Ghalib, mata tabda'ul ikhtibaratu. Mata tabda'ul ikhtibaratu. Mata is when, right? Riyadiyat is math, yeah. Mata is when. Tabda is starts. Tabda is starts. Al-ikhtibarat is exams. Right? Al-ikhtibarat is exams. Now, the tabda is present tense. The verb by itself can mean two things. You start, present tense, or she or it starts. Here's, right? Tabda can mean you start, or she or it starts. Remember, she and it, same thing. He and it, same thing, right? Feminine it, masculine it, gonna be he or she. So, mata tabda'ul ikhtibarat. Now, is it asking when are the exam starting, or is it asking when are you starting the examination? Right? I want you focus, ponder, answer, and tell me why. If you tell me which one it means. When are the examinations starting? Or does it mean when you start the examination? We didn't really get into this much, but I just want to see what's the answer. And why? Let me give the sisters them a chance. Yes. Why it's when are the examinations starting and not when are you starting the examination? Okay. The sisters didn't get it right. Let me see if you all let me down.
When will the examination start? Because after that it's like in Sahara.
After that is what?
Because when you see the dialogue after the question, it says في سهر شعبان, and then it says
That can be the answer for anyone. We want to know the meaning of this phrase here.
only.
Yeah. Huh?
Because me,
Uh,
اختبارات. If it was like for if you're asking the person himself, it would be متى تبدأ الاختبار.
no. No, اختبارات. Come. Ismail, come. Savory. Huh? Right? Yeah, that is the answer. If it was when are you starting the exams, exam day going to become what? Object. You start the exam. You eat the fish. You drink the water. So if exam is object, it would have not taken a dhamma. It would have been in mansub state. Right now verbs, words, this is a feminine plural. Feminine plural words is another word. When it's mansub, it takes kasra. So it would have been ikhtibarati. But it's mansub, right? Feminine words, feminine plural, the regular feminine plural that end with the alif and ta, when it's mansub, meaning when it's in a fatha state, it's in a fatha state with kasra. That's why in the Quran, show the Quran, you say, خَلَقَ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضَ. Allah created, He created the heavens and the earth. So the heavens and the earth is objects, right? They are the thing that were created. So the earth, you can see the clear fatha state. وَالْأَرْضَ. Now why samawati? Because this word don't take fatha, right? When it's mansub, when it's a fatha state, it takes kasra. You call it that. Right? So that's why it's, so now the doer of the verb is ikhtibar. The doer of the verb is ikhtibar. So when are the exams starting? Now the verb, the doer is the ikhtibar, so that's why it has a dhamma. I'll give a story with this when after the adhan. Um, with regards to the verb before the word or after the word, for in Arabic generally it doesn't affect. You can put the verb before or after the noun. For the meaning of when will the exam start? Right, so if you say متى الاختبار اختبارات تبدأ or متى تبدأ الاختبارات, the what do you call it? The verb can be before or after. The verb can be before or after. Especially with this example. Now, why is it, shouldn't the verb be conjugated if it comes after? Now, words that are plural and they are not intellectual words, right? They don't, they don't, what's the word? Yeah, you can say they're not intellectual, they're not human beings or angels, right? Words that are plural, not necessarily inanimate, but non-intellectual. The plural of those words, you can treat them as a singular feminine word. You can, you don't have to, but you can, right? So for example, like the word, let's say kilab. What's kilab? Huh? Dogs. Right? Kilab is dogs. So now if you say the dogs came, the most eloquent going to be al-kilab ja'at. You treat them as singular feminine, or ja'at al-kilab, kilab ja'at. Now if somebody was to say al-kilab ja'u, right, it has a possibility in the Arabic language, but it's more eloquent to use the feminine. Now we're going to mention that also. Okay, so Ghanim, he responded, في شهر رمضان, sorry, في شهر شعبان, in the month of Sha'ban, in the month of Sha'ban, في شهر, right, in the month of Sha'ban. This is mudaf al-mudaf ilay, first word, no alif and lam, single vowel, second word in majrur state. Now this is another word that don't takes kasra. It's another word that don't takes kasra. So words is mentioned like Makkah, we came across Makkah, we came across what? A few. We came across Ramadan. Right? They don't take this one don't take kasra. So the word that don't take fatha, the word that don't take kasra. Wa mata yantahi, right? And when does it وَمَتَى يَنْتَهِي الْعَامُ الدِّرَاسِيُّ. Yantahi means finish. Yantahi means he or it finishes. Yantahi. Al-'am ad-dirasi, the school year. Al-'am ad-dirasi, the school year. When does the school year finish? في شهر Ramadan, in the month of Ramadan, right? Why Ramadan is fatha and not kasra? Because it doesn't take kasra. Ghalib, he said, Al-'utlatu thalathatu ashhurin. Al-'utla is the holiday. Here is referring to the school holiday, right? The school holiday. The school holiday is thalathatu, 3, ashhur, months. Ashhur is months. Shahr, 1 month. Ashhur, months. Another plural for months is shuhur. Shahr and, ashhur and shuhur. Both are plural for months. Alhamdulillah, al-'utlatu tawilatun. Right? The holiday is long. Tawilatun, long. Can also mean tall. You can translate it appropriately. Long or tall, right? Tawila. Ghalib, bada'atil hissa. Bada'at means started. Past tense now, right? Like what we did yesterday. Right? Bada'at, aslamat, qamat, feminine. Because hissa is feminine. Now why they say bada'ati? Sukun and sukun, you put a kasra to pronounce it, right? Bada'atil hissa. Hissa means the session. The session started. Bada'at, the session started. Hayya bina, right? Come with us, let's go. Ila saf, to the class. Saf is class. Ghalib, hayya bina, let's go, come with us, right? Anyone gonna work? We're gonna continue inshallah. 5:30, pause for the salah. On mute. Okay. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. We have a few questions with regards to متى تبدأ الاختبارات. Can you say متى يبدأن الاختبارات? In here you can say متى يبدأن الاختبارات because remember if the verb comes before the noun, you don't conjugate it except to match the gender, right? You keep it in the singular form, whether masculine or feminine. So that's why they say متى تبدأ الاختبارات. Now if you put it after the verb, in here in this example, it's more eloquent to not conjugate it. It's better to just keep it tabda and treat the entire ikhtibarat as singular feminine, right? As feminine, because it's not aqil or it's not intellectual. There's certain case when it's possible to treat the plural, the unintellectual plural, as you will treat the intellectual and use the plural pronoun, especially when they're doing something that an intellectual normally do. You know, like you have personification in English. Anybody ever heard about that? Right? So in those situations, you can use the plural. And in the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala used the plural, conjugate it. For example, in Surah Adiyat, وَالْعَادِيَاتِ ضَبَحًا فَالْمُورِيَاتِ قَدَحًا فَالْمُغِيرَاتِ صُبَحًا. The Adiyat, وَالْعَادِيَاتِ ضَبَحًا. What's the Adiyat? The horses, right? The running horses. So they're plural, Adiyat. So those you can refer to them with a singular feminine, or you can reuse conjugating. فَأَثَرْنَا, right? أَثَرْنَا بِهِ فَوَسَطْنَا. It's conjugated. In the story of Yusuf, إِنِّي رَأَيْتُ أَحَدَ عَشْرَ كَوْكَبًا وَالشَّمْسَ وَالْقَمَرَ رَأَيْتُهُمْ. إِنِّي رَأَيْتُ أَحَدَ عَشْرَ. I saw 11 stars and the sun and the moon. Now all of them, this together, they are it in Arabic, right? Because sun, the moon, the stars, they're not intellectual. So in regular Arabic, you can say رَأَيْتُهَا. I saw them with the ha, just ha. But in the Quran, Allah said رَأَيْتُهُمْ. Right? So it's generally permissible. When it's more eloquent, is a different situation. So if the verb comes before, you don't conjugate it, except to match the gender. Except to match the gender. This class, someone is asking, this class it's a crash course. It's a 1-month crash course. It's we're using it, so we're going through a lot of grammar, and the Arabiya Bayna Yadayk selected conversation from the Arabiya Bayna Yadayk book. So it's focusing on the understanding of the language and the concepts of the language, and it's a crash course. That's the nature of this class. As for the grammar part of it, we have our own notes that we are presenting. Saf means classroom, right? One of the words used for classroom is saf. Also, another word for classroom can mean fossil, right? So those are words that they use. You know, also they can use like a saf al-awwal, a saf al-thani, right? It's going to be level 1, level 2 in school context. The word saf is also used to mean what? The row, right? Like the saf al-awwal in the masjid. They're going to be the first row, second row. The saf al-awwal in the school context going to mean level 1, right? Saf al-awwal, the classroom that has level 1 students, level 2 students. They also use fossil, fossil for classroom. Hissa, referring to the session. Hissa is referring to the session. So like in one day, you might have like 4 sessions. From 8 to 9, one session, 9:15 to 10, another session, right? 10:15 to 11, another session. So all of those are hissa. So the first hissa, you have math. Second hissa, you have science, so on. What do you call it? Period, right? Session or period. So the hissa here means the sessions or the periods for the class. Al-Hiwaru al-Thani. This is the second conversation for the 7th unit. Unzur wastami' wa'a'id. Look, listen, and repeat. Look, listen, and repeat. We can take this. The next lesson from the other book is short, so we can take. Okay, we're going to complete this wahda, so we go to the next one. Don't do that. So here we have a conversation between Nada and Ilham. Nada and Ilham. Nada, she say, Assalamu alaikum wa alaikum assalam. Nada ismi Nada. Ismi, my name is Nada. Ana Suriya. Ana Suriya. I am Syrian, right? So she's saying Ana Suriya, meaning it's a woman speaking, right? Ana Suri, gonna mean a man is speaking, right? Ana Suriya. I am Syrian. Ilham, ismi Ilham, ana Saudiya, right? I am Saudi. Saudi? What do you call Saudi? Huh? Ana Saudiya, right? She is Saudi. Saudi Arabian. She is Saudi Arabian. Nada, ana talibatun fi jami'ati Dimashq. أنا طالبة في جامعة دمشق. طالبة is student, female student, right? I am a student. Now she is a female speaking, she's going to use a feminine version of student. أنا طالبة. I am a student. في in جامعة is university, right? In the University of Dimashq. In the University of Dimashq. So here we have al-mudaf wal-mudaf ilay, right? The of or the apostrophe is construction. So the first word, no alif and lam, single vowel. Now you have fi before, so it takes a kasra. Fi jami'ati Dimashq. Now Dimashq also don't take kasra, right? Dimashq don't take kasra, that's why you see a fatha. Now one clue to our words that don't take kasra. Generally, non-Arabic words, words that are not originally Arabic and they are proper nouns, names of place and things, right? They don't take tanween or kasra. Dimashq, Jami'ati Dimashq. Because this word is not a, the root is not an Arabic word. What, Dimashq? I don't know. Dimashq is Damascus. Damascus, yeah. So I'm a student in the University of Damascus, right? Dimashq, Damascus. I forget that there's an English to it. Ilham ana talibatun fi jami'ati Ummil Qura. I am a student in the University of Ummil Qura. Right? Ummil Qura is the name of the city, which is Makkah. Right? A name for Makkah is al Qura. Right? Al Qura. Ummul Qura is a name for Makkah. So I'm a student in the University of Makkah. Huh? The literal meaning for al Qura, is mother and Qura is cities. Qura is cities. So the mother of cities, right? They wanted a name for Makkah. Huh? Yeah, it doesn't matter. Not a word. The translation, depending on where you are, sometimes they refer to it as a city, a town, a village, or even a country, right? But Medina may mean a city depending on the usage of the people. It can refer to the city or it can refer to a country. Most of the time now, the word for country is what? Huh? What? Balad, right? Balad. That's the word for country. That's the regular usage for country. Okay. Huh? Also, dawla can use for country. في أي كلية تدرسين في أي كلية تدرسين في is in, I is, remember, which, right? I is which, كلية is, right? The college or the faculty, right? The college or the faculty, meaning the field of studies. Tadrusin, you are studying. Speaking to a female, right? You, female, present tense, tadrusin, you are studying. So in which faculty, in which college you are studying? Adrusu fi kulliyati tarbiyah. Adrusu fi kulliyati tarbiyah. I'm studying in the faculty of tarbiyah. I'm studying in the faculty of tarbiyah. What's tarbiyah? Not here. Yeah, tarbiyah generally refer to what? Discipline, nurturing. But what's the faculty of tarbiyah? Is going to refer to what?
Teaching, like, it's for mothers?
Not necessarily mothers. Huh? It can refer to the college of teaching, where they train you to teach. What do you call it? Huh? Training college, teacher training college. Faculty of education. Right? Faculty of, that's, yeah, but that's what you do in kulliyat al-tarbiyah. وَفِي أَيِّ كُلِّيَةٍ تَدْرُسِينَ أَنْتِ. And in which college are you studying? Anti, you, meaning nada. أدرس في كلية الطب. Who? Muhammad? Hamad? Ahmed, I don't know. Who looking for him? The teacher? No. No, he's not here. Right? في كلية الطب is the faculty of medicine. The faculty of medicine. Yeah, the faculty of education. كلية التربية, the Faculty of Education. Ilham سأكون مدرسة, right? I will be a مدرسة, teacher, right? In the Faculty of Education. Insha'Allah. Nada سأكون طبيبة, I will be a doctor, Insha'Allah. Everything clear from this this lesson?
Yes.
Was not clear?
This whole page.
The whole page not clear? Well, that is your homework. So study the entire page. What is not clear? The words
Yeah.
or the constructions?
Both.
If the words are not clear, that's because the vocabs are new. Right? So what you gotta do? You gotta contemplate over it. As for the construction, most of it is mudaf ilay. Right? A lot of mudaf ilay construction. إلى أين تذهب يا غسان? It's a conversation between Qasim and Ghassan. Qasim and Ghassan. Now Qasim, it's on the shape of the form of what? The door form again. So the verb for Qasim gonna mean what? Qasama. What's the meaning of Qasama?
You share it out.
Right? To distribute. Right? Qasama, he distributed. So the distributor is the Qasim.
It's not me.
Huh?
It's not me.
Who? Yeah, here is a name, but we're just explaining the meaning. Right, so we have Qasim and Ghassan. إلى أين تذهب يا غسان? So where are you going, O Ghassan? Right, where are you going? إلى أين تذهب يا غسان? أذهب إلى المدرسة. I'm going to the school. Qasim, الوقت مبكر. The time is مبكر. What is مبكر? Early. مبكر, early. Right? We did مبكرا and متأخرا. Here, الوقت مبكر. The time is early. الساعة الآن السادسة صباحا. الساعة الآن. The time, الساعة. Remember we said ساعة can mean time, it can mean hour, it can mean the device, the watch or the clock. Right? The hour now or the time now is السادسة. Sadisa is 6. Sabahan means morning. This is the equivalent of AM. Equivalent of AM. 6 AM. The time now is 6 AM. This is how you say it in Arabic.
So you don't,
Right? Sabah from morning.
so you don't have like the letters of AM, not in like how to be, or like.
They have abbreviation here. If you see Sod, they have abbreviation. They can abbreviate it. Yeah, but that's the equivalent. Right? Sabahan wa masa'an. Al-madrasatu ba'idatun anil bayt. Al-madrasatu is the school. Ba'ida is huh? Far. Anil bayt, from the house. Right? Now note how they express this meaning. The house, the school is far from the house. You don't say min al bayt, right? Anil bayt. Anil bayt. That's more eloquent. If you say min al bayt, they're going to understand you, but this is better. Right? Al madrasatu ba'idatun anil bayt. The school is far from the house. Mata yabda'u al-yawmu ad-dirasiyu. Mata yabda'u al-yawmu ad-dirasiyu. When does the school day? Al-yawmu ad-dirasi is the school day. Right? Dirasi, attribution to school or education. Right? Al-yawmu ad-dirasi, just learn that entire phrase. If you don't understand the construction, just know that the entire phrase means the school day. When does the school day start? Yabda. When does the school day start? Ghassan yabda'u الساعة السابعة صباحا. يبدأ gonna mean it starts, right? Referring to the school day. The school day starts when? الساعة السابعة, 7 a.m., right? 7 a.m. صباحا. الساعة السابعة. You know how you have 7 o'clock? That's how you say 7 o'clock in Arabic. الساعة السابعة, the 7th hour, right? All is adjective formation. 7th hour, the 8th hour, the 9th hour, the 6th hour. That's how they say time in Arabic. قاسم هل تذهب بالحافلة؟ تذهب, you are going. Be with الحافلة is bus, right? Are you going with the bus? غسان لا أذهب بالسيارة. I'm going with the car. قاسم متى ينتهي اليوم الدراسي؟ متى ينتهي اليوم الدراسي؟ متى ينتهي اليوم الدراسي? What is that? When does the school day finish? When does the school day finish? Clear? يبدأ is starts, ينتهي is finish. ينتهي الساعة الواحدة ظهرا. ينتهي الساعة الواحدة ظهرا. ينتهي الساعة الواحدة ظهرا. It finishes the first hour, literally, ظهرا. ظهرا means at the time of dhuhr. At the time of dhuhr, right? You know when it's dhuhr is the second half of the day before you reach the evening. So in other words, it finished 1 p.m. Finish 1 p.m. because p.m. starts from 12, right? Now note how you say 1. You can, if you say as-sa'a al-wahida dhuhran or you say as-sa'a al-wahidata masa'an, both gonna be p.m., right? Both gonna be p.m. But once you reach Asr time, you're not gonna refer to it as dhuhr. Because Maghrib, Dhuhr, Asr, Isha, all of these are specific times in the day. Right? So for English, Dhuhr and Asr is all gonna be Masa'an, right? PM. All gonna be PM. And you have the option. If you wanna say, like for example, 5, you can say As-sa'a al-khamisata Masa'an or Asran. You can use any one you want, right? You can say 5 p.m. or you can say 5 Asr time, right?
Morning, you will say 5 Fajr time.
You can, if it's still within the time of Fajr, you can say As-sa'a al-khamisa Fajran, or you can say As-sa'a al-khamisa Sabahan, right? Sabahan. You can either use a general timing or you can use a specific time that it falls. So for example, 8. You can say as-sa'a, what is 8? As-thamina, duhan, because that's duha time, right? From duhan, from salatul duha. Or you can use a general morning, a.m. As-sa'a, as-thamina, sabahan. You can use both. But you're not going to say as-sa'a, as-thamina, fajran. It's not Fajr, right? All of it, you can use all those options. Huh? Where are we? ينتهي الساعة الواحدة ظهرا كم حصة تدرس في اليوم كم حصة تدرس في اليوم حصة again is periods or sessions, right? How many periods do you study, right? Now, tadrusu, you study in the day. Adrusu sitta hisasin. Now, hisas is periods. I study 6 periods in the day. right? I study 6 periods in the day. ماذا تفعل في الاستراحة؟ ماذا تفعل في الاستراحة or في الاستراحة؟ في الاستراحة or في الاستراحة. Where is the istiraha? The break, right? From rest. Raha, istiraha. What do you do in the break? Another word for break is a fusha. Right? Depending which school where you're going, they might use that as break. What do you use for break here? Recess sometimes, right? You get break, recess is just like that. They might use different words. أذهب إلى المكتبة. I go to the, where is مكتبة? Library. أو إلى المختبر. Or to the مختبر. What is المختبر? Huh? مختبر, go back to what word? اختبار. What is اختبار? Huh? News. News? No, test. Khabar is news. اختبار, test. So مختبر, where it going to be? If you make a guess. The place of test. Lab, right? The laboratory. What is it? Lab. Easy. Right? I go to the library or to the lab. Everything clear from this conversation? Right? Yeah, that you always got to do. Go back. Sometimes there is the key to the understanding. The teacher might do it over multiple times, but you just got to try contemplate over it. Okay, take a minute break, and then let's go to the conversation, inshallah. I mean the other book, the grammar. Tadrusin, you are studying, referring to a single female. Kulliya, kulliya is field or faculty or college. You can refer to the faculty or the college. Okay, 1 minute done there, right? But before as we mentioned, we're going to take one everyday review, one portion of the verbs. One person with one tense. Huh? I see evidence of tampering with the teacher's markers. Because somebody used it and put it back. They didn't put it upside down. Who, Hamza? Khalil. Now all the ink flow to the other side. You guys can get sued. Okay, so yesterday we did third person, right? He, they, and she, and they, feminine. Today we're going to do you. Huh? Yeah, dual, right? They cover they plural and they dual. Dhahabta. In the book we have alimta, right? Alimta. We are doing the past tense, right? Dhahabta gonna mean what? You went, right? Speaking to a male, you masculine. Dhahabta. Hal dhahabta ila al-madrasa, right? Did you went to the school? Hal dhahabta ya Muhammad. And you have dhahab tuma. Dhahab tuma. Now dhahab tuma, you dual, right? You two went. So if you're speaking to Ahmad and Muhammad, Ya Ahmad wa Muhammad, hal dhahabtuma. Right? Hal dhahabtuma ila al-madrasa. Did the two of you, how are you going to translate that? Go to the school. You said, did you went? Or you said, did you go? Did you go? Right? Don't confuse the English grammar with the Arabic. Right? Because in English, you can't use did with the past tense. You can say, have you went? Have you went? Maybe, right? Have you two went to the, if you want to find a match, a literal match. You guys feel. Now, dhahabtum. Dhahabtum, it's you, plural, went. Dhahabtum, you plural went. So if I ask in everybody, hal dhahabtum ila Makkah, right? Have you all went to Makkah? Clear? Clear? So if I speak into one, hal dhahabta. Two, hal dhahabtuma. More than two, dhahabtum. Now if I speak into one female, you're going to say, dhahabti. Dhahabti. Two female, dhahabtuma. Dhahabtuma. Same thing, right? Same like the dual for the masculine. Plural, more than one female, dhahabtunna. Dhahabtunna. Right? So, ya Fatima, hal dhahabti? O Fatima, have you went? Ya Fatima wa Maryam, hal dhahabtuma? Ya talibat, O students, female students, hal tunna. Hal dhahab tunna. Have you all went? Clear? Hal dhahab tunna. I'll take another verb. Aslama. Right? Aslama. Now, as we mentioned, once there is no weak letter in the word, right? Now, with the past tense, because the past tense has to do with the suffix. Sorry, what do you call it? Yeah, suffix. You add into the end of the word. Once there's no weak letter at the end of the word, and or just before the end of the word, which is like the middle, right? Generally, it's gonna be the same pattern, right? You're not gonna find any variation. Like the middle, okay. Right? Generally, this here the now aslama. What's aslama? He submitted, right? Now you submitted, you're going to be what? Aslamta. Aslamta. So if I ask, when did you accept Islam? Mata aslamta. Right? Mata aslamta. Speaking to one person. You're asking two persons, when did you accept Islam? You're going to say, Mata aslam tuma. Aslam tuma. When did you all accept Islam? Mata aslamtum. Mata aslamtum. Female. Mata aslamti. Right? When did you accept Islam? Speaking to two persons. Aslam tuma. Same thing. And plural. Aslam tunna. Aslam tunna. Right? Aslam tunna. Another pattern. Let's say the word, we did allama. Let's take another word like that. You have allama, sabbaha, kabbara. Let's take kabbara. What is kabbara? What does it mean of kabbara? Hmm? Right? Kabbara literally mean he magnified. He made it kabir. He made it big. Literally. In the context of supplication, it means to say Allahu Akbar. Right? It means to say Allahu Akbar. So kabbara mean he said Allahu Akbar. Kabbarta. Kabbarta gonna mean what? You said Allahu Akbar. Kabbar tuma. Right? The two of you said Allahu Akbar. Or the two of you did takbir. Right? You did takbir, two of you did takbir. Kabbartum. The female kabbarti. Kabbartuma. And kabbartunna. Right? Kabbartunna. Now remember the key to reading without vowels is knowing the word. Now when you get used to the conjugation, you're going to get used to reading words without the vowels. Because you know this tuma, the star, meme, alif, is from the conjugation of a verb. The star and the noon is from the conjugation of a verb. Now the tricky thing here, it can be a 3-letter verb or it can be a 4-letter verb. How you know whether it has a shadda or it doesn't have a shadda? You have to know the meaning. For example, the word, if you see this here, right? Or you see this. Now you can figure out that this end part is tum, right? Now here, is it salimtum or is it salama? Right? How you gonna know if it's salama, salamtum, or if it is salima, salimtum? How you gonna know? Only one way to know. All the grammar in the world not gonna help you. Where's the one way? You gotta know what that means, and you gotta know what this means, and the context. You're gonna know which meaning is to be applied. Because salama means to give salam, right? Salama means to give salam. And salima means to be safe. So the context, is it the person giving salam or is the person being safe? Right? That's the only way. Okay. You can suffice with those 3. And as I mentioned, right, memorize them gradually as we're going through. Don't make the next day reach without memorizing. Or at the end, you're going to have too many words, too many conjugation to cram. And you got to sing it, repeat it, memorize it like a chant. Right? Dhahabta, dhahabtuma, dhahabtum. Just keep repeating it so you get accustomed to the conjugation. So any verb you come across, you can conjugate it easy. But if you don't memorize it and you just understand it, you got to think. You got to think. All right. So let's take a lesson from the book. We have 15 minutes. We have, after this week, we have 2 more weeks remaining. Inshallah. Now, like we mentioned, this here is just a crash, right? So you got to go through it back, review it a lot, and then continue studying. So you start to apply it more and more and more, and it's going to stay with you. Towards the end, we're going to talk about the program for the rest of the year for those who want, inshallah. And we have program been ongoing, right, for the last maybe 3 years. And nas, the text. We on the right one? Yeah. The text. This text is al-isti'adhatu min al-'adhabi wal-fitan. Al-isti'adhatu min al-'adhabi wal-fitan. Now, isti'adha is from the word a'udhu, right? A'udhu billah. The isti'adha is the seeking refuge. When you say isti'adha, someone is doing isti'adha, meaning they are seeking refuge. So the act of seeking refuge, you call it al-isti'adha. This is the verbal noun or the masdar. Right? We'll be mentioning verbal noun and masdar a lot. Right? Every time we mention it is an introduction. And then we're going to take it, inshallah, more in depth. Al-isti'adha is what? The act of seeking refuge. Like, for example, kabbara means to say takbir. So takbir is the act of saying Allahu Akbar. Right? So seeking refuge from min al-adhab, from the punishment, wal fitan, and the trials. That's the literal meaning. But it's not referring to the punishment, a specific punishment, or the trials, a specific trials, general. So you translate it as seeking refuge from punishment and trials. Even if you were to say seeking refuge from punishments and trials, is going to be correct. Because you're talking general, right? The alif and lam here is not referring to the something specific, but is referring to this thing in general, this concept in general. قالت عائشة رضي الله عنهما رضي الله عنها, right? قالت عائشة رضي الله عنها. Aisha, may Allah be pleased with her, said. Now if you say Aishatu bintu Abu Bakr, it's going to be radiyallahu, you can say radiyallahu anhuma, right? Two of them, meaning Abu Bakr and Aisha. كان النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم كان النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم يقول. Right, the next version, we're going to make it a little big. Some of you, not everybody get, I see some of you with your, you can see clearly, right? Now, what's the meaning of this sentence? This here have something we did yesterday. So, kana referring to the past, right? And Nabiyu is the prophet. Yaqulu is he says or he is saying. So yaqulu is present tense. And we mentioned that kana with a present tense refer to past continuous, right? Yesterday's class. So kana Nabiyyu sallallahu alayhi wasallam yaqul means the prophet used to say, right? Something used to do, ongoing, past continuous. What he used to say, Allahumma inni a'udhu bika min fitnatin nari wa min adhabin nari wa a'udhu bika min fitnatil qabri wa a'udhu bika min adhabil qabri wa a'udhu bika min fitnatil ghina wa a'udhu bika min fitnatil faqri wa a'udhu bika min fitnatil masihid dajjali. Right? As you mentioned, all of these are hadith or dua, except for the first lesson. So you memorize it, you gain a hadith, and you gain a dua, and you gain the vocabs. Allahumma means O Allah. Allahumma means O Allah. Right? It's like Ya Allah, O Allah. Allahumma. Inni is inna, first person. Remember, inna means verily, surely, indeed. Now when you say verily me or verily I, you have two ways of saying it. One, you can add the ya direct, so you got to break the noon. Instead of inna, it becomes inni. Or you can add it with a protective noon, innani. Remember we did the noon, the protective noon or the protecting noon? Remember that? right? So you can say inni or you can say inna, innani. Now when it comes in the hadith and the Quran, you keep it as it is. But when it comes to you using it, use it whichever one. So Allahumma inni, O Allah, verily I, a'udhu. A'udhu is seek refuge, right? I seek refuge. Ana a'udhu, right? Ana a'udhu. Huwa ya'udhu. He seeks refuge. I seek refuge. Ana a'udhu. He seeks refuge. Huwa ya'udhu. Right? This is similar to the word yaqulu. Huwa yaqulu. Ana aqulu. Right? He speaks. Ana aqulu. I speak. So I seek refuge. Bika. Be with the ka, you. Right? Min, from. Fitna is trial. Right? Fitna means trial. Fitna can mean trial. It can mean test. It can mean what do you call it? Can mean punishment also. ذوقوا فتنتكم هذا الذي كنتم به تستعجلون in Surah Dhariyat. There it means punishment. So indeed I seek refuge with you from the fitna of the fire. Right? Mudaf and mudaf ilay. See fitna, no alif and lam, single vowel. The second word, majrur state. I seek refuge with you from the fitna of the fire, from the fitna of the fire, from the trial of the fire. وَمِنْ عَذَابِ النَّارِ, and from the punishment of the fire, and from the punishment of the fire. Now the fitna of the fire and the punishment of the fire, right? If you are in the fire, that's the punishment of the fire. If you're being exposed to the fire, is more the fitna of the fire, right? Imagine you have somebody, right? You want to punish them, and you take them to a place where people are getting whipped, right? And you show them. That's a fitna for them now. They're not being punished yet, but you put them in a fitna. You put them in a state of trial it's like a kind of punishment, psychological punishment, right? Like in Surah, if you check Surah A'raf, right? فَإِذَا صُرِفَتْ أَبْصَارُهُمْ تِلْقَى, what's the verse? أَصْحَابِ النَّارِ قَالُوا رَبَّنَا لَا تَجْعَلْنَا مَعَ الْقَوْمِ الظَّالِمِينَ, right? When they would be shown to the, when their eyes or their gaze will be turned towards the people of the fire of hell. A'raf, right? These are people, they're not in hell nor they're not in Jannah. They don't know what's going to happen to them as yet. So imagine Allah turn their face towards hell. What's going to happen? Right? Now they're in a state of fitna. So the fitna of the nar, you don't want to fall into the fitna of the nar nor the punishment of the nar. وَأَعُوذُ بِكَ, and I seek refuge with you, min fitnatil qabri, from the fitna, the trial of the qabr. وَأَعُوذُ بِكَ مِنْ عَذَابِ الْقَبْرِ, and I seek refuge with you from the punishment of the qabr. What's qabr? Al-qabr, the grave, right? Al-qabr, the grave. Now qabr is grave, qubur is graves, and maqabir is the place where the graves are, the graveyard, right? Maqabir, and the plural, the maqabir is graveyards, and the singular for maqabir is maqbara. Maqbaratun, right? Ta at the end. وَأَعُوذُ بِكَ مِنْ فِتْنَةِ الْغِنَى, and I seek refuge with you from the trial of ghina. What is ghina? Richness, wealth, right? From ghani. Ghina, richness. Here it can also mean sufficiency. Ghina can mean sufficiency. From the trial of richness, wealth. وَأَعُوذُ بِكَ مِنْ فِتْنَةِ الْفَقْرِ, I seek refuge from the trial of poverty. Right? Faqr, poverty. وَأَعُوذُ بِكَ مِنْ فِتْنَةِ الْمَسِيحِ الدَّجَّالِ, and I seek refuge with you from the trial of Al-Masih, the Masih Ad-Dajjal. Dajjal literally means a liar or impostor. So this is an adjective here. From the lying Masih or the impostor Masih. right? Masih means liar or impostor, is that adjective. So the lying Masih or the impostor Masih, right? Because remember there's a true Masih who is Isa ibn Maryam, and then you have the fake Masih, which is the Dajjal. Clear? The vocab's clear, and the construction should be clear, right? We did nothing new.
It's a mistake.
Right now, that's no easy Masih, the Messiah. Why you call him the Messiah? After the class, when the class fully finish, then we're going to add the benefit. Who want to stay for it? Then we continue. We have 3 minutes for the next application. Qala Abdullah ibn Abbasin. Now this alif and lam there is a mistake. Take out the alif. Sorry, not the alif and lam. The alif. Right? The alif. Take out the alif. The rule of dictation is when you say somebody son of something, right? That ibn, the alif for it, you don't put the alif between the name and the what you call it, and the person and the father. If the ibn Abbas, son of, if the name that is before is the name of the person, you don't put in that alif, right? You don't put in that alif. Qala Abdullah, and once it's in the same line. Qala Abdullah, he. Qala Abdullah ibn Abbasin, right? Abdullah ibn Abbasin radiyallahu anhu, he said, كان النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم يعلمهم هذا الدعاء كما يعلمهم السورة من القرآن. Right, what he said. Now let's leave out the kana for now. يعلم is he teaches. Whom? Them. النبي يعلمهم, the Prophet teaches them. That's present tense. Now we put kana, makes it past continuous. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to teach them continuously. Right? This used to happen. He used to teach them هذا الدعاء, this dua. Here it's going to mean this dua, not this is the dua. Right? The context. Right? If you say he used to teach them this is the dua, right? It doesn't synchronize. We're going to deal with this statement later on, more specifically. Right in this same lesson here. The Prophet used, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, used to teach them this dua, kama yu'allimuhum, kama, right? We mentioned kama means what? Not as if. Not if. Huh? No, that is kam. Kama is showing similarity. Ka means like or as, and ma means like here, like the alladhi, kalladhi, or sorry, not alladhi. We call this ma is masdariya. It refers an action. In this context, if you understand, the entire thing is showing resemblance. Before we get too technical on the ma. So he used to teach them this dua as he would teach them. Right here, as he would teach them. Kama yu'allimuhum, as he would teach them, as-surah, the surah from the Quran. Right, just understand the ma there. The kama, the entire thing is one. He used to teach them this dua as he would teach them the surah from the Quran. In other contexts, the ma is similar to alladhi, right? Similar to alladhi, but not here. If it's before a verb, it's not similar to alladhi. If it's before a noun, it's going to be similar to alladhi. Generally. But all of it is for showing likeness, resemblance. That's the main thing you can understand right now, right? Or you need to understand. Don't worry about the details of the terminology or the grammar. What's the dua? Allahumma inni a'udhu bika min adhabi jahannam. Oh Allah, verily I seek refuge with you from the punishment of Jahannam. وَأَعُوذُ بِكَ مِنْ عَذَابِ الْقَبْرِ, and I seek refuge with you from the punishment of the grave. وَأَعُوذُ بِكَ مِنْ فِتْنَةِ الْمَسِيحِ, and I seek refuge with you from the trial of Al-Masih Ad-Dajjal, right? The impostor Masih, or the impostor Messiah, or the fake Messiah, or the false Messiah. All right, anyone can work. وَأَعُوذُ بِكَ مِنْ فِتْنَةِ الْمَحْيَا, and I seek refuge with you from the trial of Mahya. Mahya here means life, right? The time that you are alive. Wal mamat, and death, right? Meaning the period and the time that you are dead, which is going to be the time of death itself and also the life of the barzakh, right? Hay is alive. Haya is life. And the mahya is the time, the entire period of living. That's the mahya. If you just understand it as life and death, that's the basic. Okay, we're gonna pause here, and tomorrow we're gonna continue. We're gonna start with this, inshallah ta'ala. So, any questions? Other than that, we are finished. Who wants to leave, they can leave, inshallah.
First, you said you're going to mention after class about what we're going to have after this crash course.
No, not after the class. Before we finish the crash course, remind me, towards the last week. You got it, right?
No, I'm just asking because if it has like a lot of narration, but this thing is worded.
It get a few narration. You get some narration with the qabr before the Jahannam, and you get some narration without the Jahannam. Yeah, they get various narration.
So how would reviewing the lesson be? Would it be just reviewing the nos?
Reviewing the lesson.
Yeah. Would it
Review everything that we did.
So practice the grammar points too.
Yeah, once you review everything to understand everything.
It's like a more general question, but you know, last, like end, Mom told me that there's two categories, ism, and which is noun, is verb, and is preposition, right? Which of those categories was last fall into?
It's what do you call it? It's noun, verbs, and particle. Not preposition. Preposition gonna fall under the particle. So waw is from the particles. Yeah. Anything from the sisters? Are we all good? So everything looks good. So we're gonna close off, inshallah. You good? سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك ونشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت ونستغفرك ونتوب إليك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.